Morning. So we're up the other end of the lake. Last night I was over there. I stayed until a couple of hours after dark. Small mirror, that was it. But I noticed the fish were rolling at this end of the lake again. At the moment we've got a bit of a southeasterly, but that's going to swing round to the southwest, which it's doing now to a certain degree, and then round to the west. So spawn's been out, everything's been clipped up, area out there, a line of bait spread out, and a couple of rods on it with some bright pop-ups. As I was bombing, fish roll just down there, small common, not very big, but obviously I'm going to keep my eye very closely because I'm fishing at about 70 yards up the bank. That's where they've mostly been showing, to be honest with you. But if they get in here, I'll just dump them in the margin for sure. So a little bit of drizzle at the moment, but that's supposed to clear in about half an hour or so, and the rest of the day just overcast. Time to get the kettle on. So the perennial problem fishing two rods right to the left means that one rod needs to be further out than the other. So I'm twisting that back buzzer bar actually gives me that little bit extra. I need to keep the rods out though, because of course I want to keep the rods up and off this margin, because this margin is literally littered with snags. Also, see that post there? Well, there's 6 cray traps down in the water, about 1 foot, 2 foot below the water, about a couple of yards out. So obviously I want to keep the line up as much as possible just off the edge of those. That wind is starting to cover the lake a little bit more, as you can see, as the wind swings round from the southeast, which is this direction from here, and it will swing round and it will come straight in here by this afternoon. Got a couple of cormorants on the lake as well. I had one on yesterday, got 2 on today. Well, there you are. That wind has swung round absolutely beautifully, hasn't it? It's a bit noisy behind me with the builders. They're still working on this, but you can't hear the traffic hardly at all, really, which is always good. It's one of the reasons why I like this swim. Plus, of course, it's an area that doesn't really get fished much at all. So I always think I'm in with a chance here, you know. But if I see them rolling closer in, then I'll just use the catapult and bring the rigs in. But it's looking good. We're definitely in the right place. And that wind is now pushing lovely. Wind swung completely. It's always nice when the weather forecast gets it right. So I got extra couple of days off this week, no shifts, so I thought I'd make the most of it. I'll try and get in as many sessions as I can in October, before November gets here and it starts to cool down a lot. It really starts to get a bit tougher. In a way, I wish I'd come into this swim a couple of days ago, but there you go. Well, the wind's still coming in nicely. We might get a little bit of rain soon. It does look like it, I've got to say. That sky is a bit dark. It's not forecast, but forecasts change, don't they? So it's 1:15. A lot there on their dinner break, thank goodness for that. I think it's time for a scone myself. I've been scoffing all morning actually. I'll just put the kettle on again. So, next sort of 4 or 5 hours, this is the time. I shan't be staying too long after dark, but I do want to get some more bait out before I go, so I'll stay on dark then wind in, put some more bait out, and hopefully get back in the swim tomorrow. Vlog time. Another nice common from this swim. I'm not even sure if it's the same fish as I caught last time. I don't think so. Hold on. No, it's not. It's got a mark on its side. Left hand rod. That was the one closer in. Boy, I'm worn out. I tell you what, I had this on for absolutely ages. This is definitely the better side. There you go. Happy days. Got my fish. Well pleased. What a beauty, eh? Really put up a scrap. Only gave me a few bleeps, rod bent. I was just right into it. Didn't wait. Oh. What a beauty, eh? What an absolute beauty. Well chuffed. It's been really noisy here today with the workers, but this is worth it. What a lovely fish. Right, let's pop it back, shall we? Happy days. One old fish. Nice one. Big grin. I do like catching big commons, you know, there's something about them, isn't there? It's just, you know, they're such awesome creatures, commons. They just look so amazing, you know. Oh, well chuffed. I'm well chuffed. Another 27 common from here. Different fish too, so well chuffed. Because, you know, obviously it's the same fish getting caught most of the time, but it's always nice to get a new one for yourself, isn't it? They literally just gave me a few bleeps and I just saw the rod tip just bending like that. Picked it up. And there wasn't really a great deal there to start with. And I wound down and then it just went. I have my clutches set fairly light. I let them run because you never know what the hook hole's like. That one was hooked, bang there. The hook came out nice and easy when I took it out, but it wasn't going to come out on its own, you know. So I was well chuffed. Everything worked really nicely. And another one to the super fruits. It's these little blighters. They're absolutely brilliant, and they've just got such a, you know, I really do like a smelly pop-up, I've got to be honest with you. So I'm not going to put any more bait out. I just don't want to disturb the swim, basically, and I think there's probably going to be a little bit left around, and you know, usually you only get the one. So yeah, let's just not put any bait in this time. Normally I respond with a bit of bait, but this time I think I'm just going to hold back. Time is 4 o'clock, so that's the time, isn't it? You know, so we've got a couple of hours daylight left, and I'm going to stay for about an hour or so after dark, and then chip off. It's been really noisy here today, actually, with the earthquake machine, compactor. They've been laying truckloads of sand up the top there, and it's been really difficult, you know, because your whole body's shaking. But I'm fishing 70 yards up the bank, not here, so, you know, I was confident enough to think that it probably wouldn't disturb the carp that much further down the lake. But I will be glad when they're finished this, I must admit, because this is quite a swim on the lake at the moment, really. I was just about to say, they've gone quiet up there. I think they've moved along. Still buzzing. Conditions here are difficult with the noise and all the rest of it. But fishing's fishing, you know, when you catch a fish like that. Everything you're doing is pretty much the same. It's just that you've got to put up with the noise. To a certain degree, you know, with the traffic, you just get kind of used to it. But with the builders, it's a little bit harder because, of course, they are very, very noisy. However, it seems that they've now buggered off and they're going to leave me with the last few hours of daylight, peace and quiet. But it is a lot quieter here, isn't it, when they're not working. And fish get in this area, you know, that area there, that's where you want to be. And I didn't put out a huge amount of bait. I put out about just over half a kilo. You know, so it's not a great deal of bait, but I was really accurate with it as well, and the casts went spot on. So I'm pleased with everything. I'm pleased that it's all worked, because, you know, sometimes it doesn't. I haven't actually counted up the fish that I've caught, seriously, but I'm not far off of 20 fish now. I think I caught 5 or 6, half a dozen doubles, a couple of scraper 20s, and the rest of them have all been, you know, sort of mid-20s, upper 20s, so really good fishing, isn't it? That was a lovely fish. It was good nick, really nice, well chuffed, well chuffed. You might get another one, you never know. Could get lucky. One of those rods could go off again. Well, just over an hour of daylight left, and then about another hour or so after dark. That's it. That's enough for me today. I'm happy. I've caught one. Usually I only get one, so, you know. I don't know how many more I can squeeze out, but I'm gonna try and squeeze a few more out before November gets here and winter gets underway. Although I got a feeling if this weather holds, it could be through November, you know. It's warm. This wind is a warm wind as well, so it's not doing any harm at all. So a good few hours putting up with the earthquake and the noise and everything else, but like I say, I think it's worth it. It still looks tasty, and I still think I can get a run. Watcha, isn't this quiet? No builders up there today, not at the moment anyway. So, both rods went out at 80 yards, and I bombed 3/4 of a kilo at 80 yards. Same spot that I did yesterday, in a line out from the bank, about 8 spoms, 6 to 8 spoms, something like that. Fella over there in that swim, when I got here, he said he'd seen a fish roll in front of him, about halfway between him and the island. So I thought, interesting. Not much I can do about it. He's got the swim. I decided still to come round here. As you can see, there's no wind. If the east wind had been piling into there, I would have been in the bay, but it's not, so no way. If he doesn't catch a fish, I'll be surprised. He's had another fish roll in front of him. I've got my float rod with me and my keep net and landing net and that, and some dendrobinas. Huge boil here yesterday, 2 or 3 pike striking at fish. There's a huge shoal of silverfish in here. Massive, big circle of when it explodes, so I'm going to try and catch a few. Hopefully I'll catch a few of the smaller carp. That's basically the idea, because they've got a cage here and they want to bring them on and rear them. Why not? Right, let's get that. My float rod's all set up, got my float out, all shotted up nicely. Shotting patterns are important. I might explain that to you later if you don't know anything about it. Otherwise you can ignore me. Carp rods are out, everything's sorted there. I can just leave them alone and concentrate on this. There you go. So I'll just chop a few of those up and just introduce a few to the swim. There's loose feed, but not much. Basically what I'm going to do is I've shotted it so that it's absolutely shotted right for the inside margin where it just starts to come up. But the fish seem to be concentrated mostly out there in a big shoal. So I'm going to sling it over there and see what happens. It grebes around a lot. But yeah, the water absolutely erupts when the pike strikes. Right, let's see if we can catch one. There you go. I've caught something. How I'm going to unhook it, I don't know. Hold on. I had a feeling this was going to happen. Yeah, it took squarely under the chin. First fish. I just knew it was going to be a perch. Look at that. What a beauty, eh? There you go. Brilliant. That's not what we want though, we want the carp. Let's pop it out again. See a thing. Oh, there we go. See what we can catch. Herring gull out there at the moment. 2 of them. There you go, look at the size of those. You see all the seagulls up there? They don't want to know. They're not going to take them 2 on. They are huge birds. They really are. You can probably hear the traffic. You can see the wind. It's coming from the east now. There you go, look at that. Pike striking over there again. So, I only caught little perch, so I gave it a go. That was it. I fed a whole tub of chopped dendrobinas, and all I was getting was little perch, even on the little plastic maggot I was using. So, yeah, I really need to be sort of in more of an open swim. You know, try it again some other day. Time for soup. Warm myself up. I did bring my umbrella, so I can't really shield myself from this easterly wind, and it is a cold one. But I'm on the back of it, so it's not too bad. Well, for much of the time, it's been a lovely, peaceful day today. No builders. Wonderful. I think it's coming up to around 2 o'clock, isn't it? Hold on. Yeah, 2 minutes to 2. So now's the time I expect to be in with a chance of a bite, you know. The wind is pushed out. I'm right at the back of it, so temperature is alright. I wouldn't want to be on the end of that. It's chilly. So cross your fingers and hope you get one today. Well, I've just recast the left-hand rod, and the reason for that was those short bleepings that I've been getting. I've been thinking, is that craze my baits, because I'm using baits straight out of the bag. But no, they're completely intact. That one was completely intact, so I'm happy. So quickly measure the distance out again, clipped it up, chucked it straight back in. Here you go, check these out, see if I can zoom in on them. A pair of kites. At least 2 of them, possibly 3. There they are. That's one of them. Long way out. Meanwhile, that pike has been really hammering the fry in there. Boiled a couple of 3 times really well. It could be a decent double figure fish actually. As the traffic's building, that's because this east wind's pushing it right over my ear up. That's what that might. It's not too bad. I don't know if we're going to get a bite today. It's one of those days, isn't it? You know, but we really should. You know, I've put in a couple of kilos of bait now in that swim. Pretty sure they're going to be on. Well, I fell asleep. It's nearly 4 o'clock. I must have fell asleep for a good half an hour or so. It can be nice and quiet here. It's one of the good things about this swim. So I've got a whole load of soup to get through. Well, I do believe we've just had a fish roll right over the spot, or area, because I put my bait in a line through the spawn, and then 2 rods right on where. I'm waiting for a coot to come up. No coots come up. And that was definitely a show. Vlog time. Late bite. Kind of had a feeling if I was going to get one, it'd probably be late. Right hand rod, which was where that fish rolled. Possibly this fish. I'm well pleased to get a bite, I have to say. Do you know what? I haven't weighed another double. To be honest with you, it's a fat old double. When I had it in the net, I thought it was a little bit bigger, but yeah, 19 pounds. But it's a bite. I've still got the left hand rod out, so I'll leave that out. Put away the right hand rod. But well pleased. Another fish. Right, as ever, we have to put them back. It's getting late. I'll have a slow pack away. Watch that left hand rod. It's just so nice to get a bite. I'll be back tomorrow.